Well, my name is Gary Heyward, and I'm an author of a book called Correctional Officer, which is my autobiography of my life as a Rikers Island Correctional Officer.
Right.
For about roughly 10 years.
Right. So and before we even get into the book, how long did it take you to actually, get into the book or write the book in itself?
Well, I wrote it when I was locked up. It was because, I'm not going to lie, before I got locked up, I wasn't into writing and stuff like that. So when I got up there and started reading different books and stuff like that, my passion for writing developed. So I wrote about 4 books in a 2-year time span when I was up north.
Right. What made you, begin to, delve into a world of, playing I don't even like to say inmate or whatever, convict game, in the sense of selling drugs and so on and so forth?
Well, basically, when you become a correctional officer, if you're from any inner city neighborhood, you're going to know a lot of people inside.
Right.
Temptation is always going to be there. There's always somebody, friend, brother, relative, that's going to ask you to bring them in something. Can you do something for them? So you hold out, you tell them no, and you ignore it. But in my situation, I had a situation where my back was against the wall, and I had to do something for self-preservation.
Right.
I had things to take care of, and it just wasn't happening with my correction pay.
Right.
That's when I decided to delve onto the dark side.
Right.
First of all, they always tell you as a CO, you can't trust no inmate. Any given time, an inmate would give you up. So it was a time where, innocently, my name started buzzing around the jail. People started talking. It's a status thing with an inmate. If an inmate has an officer that's bringing something in, he basically can run his house. He can, get a lot of props in the jail.
Right.
And if so many times, he's going to keep his mouth shut. So I did my dirt by myself.
Right.
I never involved any co-worker. I didn't want nobody involved in any. First of all, I don't trust nobody. Even with trusting the inmate, I was real cautious with that. But there's no such thing as you and your co-worker together doing dirt. It's certain things that do happen that your co-worker see, but that's more of doing the duties of a correctional officer,
right,
not doing illegal stuff inside there, like drugs.
Shit hits the fan. You're arrested. Do you mind if I ask how much time did you do?
Well, if you read the article said I was facing life.
Of course,
of all my charges. But you know how they prefabricate, and they once you're a law enforcement person, they blow it up and make it 10 times worse than what it is. So basically, I only did 3 years. I did 2 years up north and 1 year post-release supervision.
Right.
I mean, it was a process because when I first came home, I'm not gonna lie, my priority wasn't putting a book out. I got a daughter, I got kids to take care of. So I already had like 4 strikes against me that I had a felony. Just came home from jail, was a law enforcement, lost a city job.
Right.
So my main priority was trying to get stable again before putting the book out. So, but in the interim of getting myself stable, I was promoting, telling people about it, giving out my little bookmarks, I did a couple of interviews already prior to this one, talking about the book and stuff like that. I got some reporters from the Times and the Daily News questioning and wanting to do interviews. So that's going to be coming up in the future.
Of course. Now, man, before we get into, listen, before we go on, man, who made the suit, man? Nah.
Well,
but I think that it was, and I asked that because, it's creative in a sense, you know what I mean? It's part of your pitch.
Well, I created this suit. Everything I did, basically, I did it from my top bunk in my cell.
Right.
I foreseen all this stuff, so when I thought about the suit, I wanted something that you can look at even without me speaking.
Of course.
Would be self-explanatory.
Right.
So, I went to a seamstress and I gave him my ideas, I gave him my clothing size, and he made it for me.
Right.
So these are my real inmate numbers, and if you really don't know anything about my book, you'll see that it's half inmate and half officer. First I want to say this.
Right.
I was a correctional officer for about 9 years. And as a CO, I'm a pretty big dude, so I was used in a lot of situations for disciplining inmates.
Right.
So let's say I didn't write a book, and I'm standing somewhere and somebody see me and remember me from being a correctional officer. Whatever they're going to do, whatever they're going to say, they're going to do it anyway whether I wrote a book or not.
Right.
So when you say, am I ready for the onslaught, it's like if you go to a website called officers.com, there's already a lot of slurs, derogatory comments. I'm going to get that. It doesn't matter because law enforcement people feel real strong about their job.
Of course.
It's just a job. Some people think it's more than a job. They think being a law enforcement person defines them like it's the greatest accomplishment they ever did. But I can't tell them not to. It's a good job.
Right.